I'm in your face.
What's up, guys? This is Mark at Diecast, aka Mark McHotwheel. I have a guest for you guys today that I'm very excited about. It's David at Twyce Diecast. Go ahead and say hello to everybody, David.
What's up, everybody? This is David, and I am happy to be here.
So, David is one of my best online friends that I've never met. So, we met each other on YouTube and haven't met in real life. We've talked on the phone and exchanged emails and texts and all kinds of stuff. He's a funny dude. I want him to be one of my first guests because David is just a awesome man, and I love him. So here he is. He's on. I'm gonna ask him some questions today, and we're just gonna kind of talk and chit chat and talk everything about diecast, what he's passionate about, what I'm passionate about, but it's mostly about David today. We're just gonna ask him some questions, and are you ready for all that, Mr. David?
I am, and man, I appreciate it. And listen, we all love you too, Mark, and what you bring to the diecast community. So it's an honor to be one of your first guests, and I'm looking forward to it. This will be fun. So fire away.
All right, man. Awesome. I'm glad to have you, man. So I've kind of just got some basic questions I'm going to ask a lot of people when they come on here. It's, what's your YouTube channel's name again?
Good question, and a good story behind it. I won't take too long. It's Twyce Diecast, Twyce.
And what does that stand for?
So that is an anagram. It used to be the worst YouTube channel ever. And that was a channel my son and I started when he was a wee little man, about 8 years old. So that would have been, 6 or 7 years ago. And he got the biggest kick out of trying food from around the world. And we would try all these canned stuff. And so that's where that came from.
Well, that's super cool. Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out David's YouTube channel, it's Twyce Diecast. That's Ty. Spell it out for me, David. It's too early, man.
Take two. Twyce. Diecast.
Diecast. So yeah. So and if you can't spell like I can't, then just you can sound it out. The worst YouTube channel ever. So just go. That works too. So my next question is, what do you want to be when you grow up? I know we both think we're both full-grown adults, but is there anything left out there that you haven't achieved that you want to achieve? Is there something out there?
That's a good question, man. I didn't know we were going deep right out of the gate.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy to answer this because, Mark, and everybody listening, my passion is being able to make a positive impact all over the world and not excluding anybody. So how do you do that as a diecast fan? Man, you try and get diecast in the hands of collectors all around this world, regardless of where they live. Diecast is one of the, not to be too weird, but it's one of the few things that there's no politics, there's no different religions. It doesn't matter. We all like little cars when we're kids. Yeah. And I'm right there with them. I was walking around birthday parties with a handful of Hot Wheels when I was 3 years old. And I just want to share that with everybody around the world.
Well, that's pretty awesome because I think car people or not car people, I think a lot of people love diecast because especially when Hot Wheels got so crazy, they started coming out with something for everybody, when they first started out. Yep. There was just a couple different muscle cars and, people weren't interested. But now you got Barbie campers, you got zoom-ins, you got, the colors, just the colors alone. A lot of, kids they don't even necessarily like the car. They just like the color. So, yeah, well, that's awesome. And I'm right there with you, buddy. As you probably know, I don't like to exclude anybody or leave anyone out. I think it's a place for people that are outcasts as well. I think a lot of people don't fit in somewhere, but if they've got other like-minded people that love diecast, it doesn't matter. You all fit in. We just accept everybody into the group. And
Yep.
yeah, and so together, through David, because he just and now that was tell me about this. Was it Samaritan's Purse or what company or charity were you doing that for?
I'm glad you asked that. Recently on the channel, just maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I started thinking about some of the holiday traditions in my family, and one of them is making these shoe boxes for Operation Christmas Child. Samaritan's Purse is an incredible organization that does missionary work all around the world, and part of their holiday efforts are to put shoe boxes in the hands of little kids all around the world. I think it's several million in over 170 countries. So I just threw out to fellow collectors. I asked if you have any to donate and wanted to send them to me, then I'll drop them off at my local church. And some of you guys, even ones listening right now, dropped what y'all were doing and sent me some cards. Mark, you included. And you guys can see Mark in a video on my channel on Sunday. I've got a little bit of Dr. Man Diecast cameo in that. But anyway, 500 cars you guys raised, and I dropped those off earlier this week. My church staff was ecstatic, and so I thank everyone that did that and those that plan to do it next year. And we'll do it even bigger next year.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I appreciate you doing that. And, if everybody just steps up a little bit, and, we don't have to talk 500 cars or 1,000 cars. And, if you just have 10 cars that you want to go drop off down at your local food bank or church or whoever is getting these cars to kids, it all adds up, and it's a pretty amazing thing, because just think about kids that don't have anything for Christmas, a lot of us had stuff growing up, so that's really a great thing you did, David. I appreciate you taking the reins on that, and we can make it a lot bigger next year for sure, because with this podcast, hopefully there's a bunch of people, new listeners out there. I know I've gotten some new people to the channel because of this, which is amazing. But just people listening to podcasts while they're driving to work or whatever they're doing. That's kind of why I'm doing this, is because people can kind of listen and talk about diecast and not have to pull up a video. So it's a little easier for some people. So now that they're listening, they can say, "Hey, whoa! I've been wondering where I can give all these all these extra cars that I have, duplicates, or these were given to me, or there's 100 cars in the garage that no one wants, So it's cool. We can I think we can do a lot of things with a podcast too. So awesome.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So next question: what is your diecast holy grail? Like, what's the number one? I don't want to hear a tie or anything like that. What's the number one car that you would just love to have?
Dang. Okay, so that's a tougher one than even your existential "what is the meaning of life" question you threw at me for my second question. Holy Grail. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about David.
Yeah,
David tends to take the path not taken, leading down the rabbit hole of obscure diecast. I like as Mark and Honest Diecast Derek will joke about, I like the Chinese Passats that nobody has in their collection.
Yep.
And I honestly, guys, I don't usually buy things that are super valuable. Like, this is just me, and it's different from a lot of you collectors, and that's fine. We all have different passions and reasons for collecting. So I never buy diecast as any kind of investment or potential flipping situation. I only buy what I like.
Yep.
And so that kind of keeps it, honestly, like, I may not even have a holy grail, because if it's not something I really, really like, then I'm not going to get it, even if it's super valuable.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, all right, so right now, I've got a holy grail for right now.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I saw a video. It's Vladimir Putin's Russian limousine is now in diecast. And I've got a lot of crappy world leaders' limousines in diecast already, including Saddam Hussein and Chinese dudes that have murdered no telling how many poor people.
Yeah.
But Vladimir Putin has a limo out, and right now, I gotta admit it, I'm hot and heavy for it. So I'll be scouring the internet and eBay for that.
All right, guys. So if you know and love David, you know you got some searching to do. You've got Christmas is coming up, so you got to find that Putin stretch limousine. What is the brand of that thing? Like what is the make of that limousine?
I think it might be X Car Toys, and you guys don't have to look, because as soon as we hang up and I'm off of this podcast, I'm telling you, I am like,
I got them all fired up. What have I done? We just got started, man. Oh, David. So, all right. So that answers that. David is a obscure collector. A lot of us, we all like our own stuff. Some people, I always tell people, collect what you love, collect what you want to collect. Don't just start collecting and look at what everybody else wants and look at making money off of diecast, because that turns it into like a business. You know, we're all in it for the hobby and the love, and I do like obscure cars too, but mine are just a little bit more mainline because everybody, of course, loves Datsun 510s. But I love the hard to find Datsun 510s, and I'm chasing after them all, man. And there's so many Datsun 510s out there, you know, and a lot of them are a lot of money, and that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I'm just gonna start, you know, purchasing them one by one, you know, trying to afford to be able to buy some of them. As some of you may know, my buddy Mark, Hot Wheels for Life, gave to me a John Morton BRE Hot Wheels vintage racing car. Those things are worth, I don't even need to say, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if not close to $1,000. And he just gave that to me, which is one of my holy grails for sure. Like, that's on the top of the list besides the other, you know, Spectraflame BRE one that's kind of unobtainable. But yeah, you have people in this community that are selfless, you know, and we're just trying to overtake the selfish people out there, you know, in the community, because they're kind of, a lot of the selfish people, aka scalpers and, you know, that kind of stuff, they're on their own spectrum of the diecast world. They're not collectors. They're just trying to make money. We're trying to like bring those people over to the other side, and, you know, show them like what an actual community of like people that like love each other and respect each other and share and are kind. We're trying to bring all those scalpers over into our world, because, you know, we all, you know how I feel about scalpers, and I'm sure David feels the same way. That it ruins the hobby, and we don't like it at all. But I'm welcome, you know, if they can stop doing it and just come over and hang out and just collect cars, then no harm, no foul, you know, just life goes on. So, but
that's right. No,
yeah,
make a good point, Mark, because, you know, they probably started out as, you know, just collectors of Hot Wheels, just like we did. Then sometimes you get a little taste of that cheddar, and that takes you down the wrong road. But you make a good point, too. We'll always welcome anybody back.
Sure, yeah. Or, I mean, maybe they never were collectors. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's, you know, I had a taste of it when I first started. You know, I would buy too many and then I would sell some off, but I've never really done it for profit at all. I've just tried to, like, maybe sell some diecast, some extra ones I had just to break even, you know, not trying to make any money. But I get it. You know, it's like, some of these it's not just diecast. It's like Funko Pop and Pokemon cards and stuff like that. People are doing that with everything. So there's a lot of hobbies that are frustrated with that. But it's not gonna be something that goes away overnight by any means. But all we can do is just like I try to tell people like just you know what, man, just stop buying their stuff. And they say, yeah, I know, but I'm never going to find that. I'm never going to get it. It's the only way. So I paid $200 for a Super Treasure Hunt. And you're like, no, you can't do that. It's just not worth that. It's $1 car, and it's something for, people to go and have fun and to go find. It's a treasure hunt, not a, not make a bunch of money off me hunt. It's ruining the
Let's
fun.
go back to that BR because the gift you got, that was one of the most fun videos that I've watched in a while, Mark. And it was because your reaction was so pure and so authentic. And when you jump on eBay and get every Super Treasure Hunt a week after the drops because you can't find it, sometimes you miss the opportunity for someone else to give you a really cool gift like that.
Sure.
And so if you had just killed yourself and saved up a bunch of money and bought that BRE, I doubt it would mean as much to you as the one that was gifted to you.
No way. Just the sheer surprise factor of it, as you could see in the video, I was just in denial that was sent to me. But it's it costed him. He got it off the shelf when they were peg warmers, and that the funny thing is, that car was a peg warmer. It was. So they were just sitting there on the shelf, and they were probably $5 or $10 or something like that, somewhere, no more than like 10 or 15. But that's what he paid for it. So, but his mindset is really was really a great thing. He doesn't see it as worth what it is now. He's just sees it as like, hey, Mark, I paid this much for it many years ago. I have a few of them, and here you go, because you've been looking for this forever. I know you'll appreciate it and take care of it. And he said, I appreciate the content that you make, and to me, it's worth me giving it to you because of the content and the entertainment that you bring me, which is great to hear. Because sometimes as like content creators, and especially being somewhat new to that, you get kind of a little burnt out. Sometimes you don't get the views you wanted, you don't get the feedback you wanted. And it's nice to hear from people that you're doing a good job and that you bring them, you make them laugh and that kind of stuff. And that's why I do it, is just to bring people some kind of joy in this world, and to make people feel welcome, in the diecast community.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that was that BRE one's still very near and dear to my heart. I'm looking at it right now, so I'm taking a look at it. So, yeah. So let's see what else we got. So basically, I already answered this question, but if we're not talking about Russian Putin limousines, what kind of diecast do you want for Christmas? Like, what would be your ideal Christmas presents for diecast?
All right, so I tend to splurge and buy almost everything I want, and I need to quit doing that because I don't know if you guys are like me, but I told my wife I'm going to collect Hot Wheels because they're $1 and they're the cheapest hobby I can find.
Yeah, right.
And so that didn't really work out to plan. An ideal Christmas present to me, I think it would be, it may not be a diecast brand or a different country. Honestly, the best diecast gift I could get would be a really cool custom done by different friends and channels, because I've got a special shelf for those. And when I think about the time and the thoughtfulness that went into making a custom,
sure.
And not to brag on Mark again, but he made a 510 wagon for me that was polished and chromed out and in the BRE livery that is my favorite custom, just because partly because of the amount of time I know that it took to make it. So that's a really cool gift to get.
Man, that was definitely the hardest car to give up. I'll tell you that right now. Just when I was done with that thing and I got that thing all polished up and just all dialed in, and I struggled with some decals or decals or whatever you want to call them, getting those on there correctly and everything. I just like, I knew where it needed to go though, because I know that how much I love BRE stuff and just Datsuns and polished things, and I had to go to you, man.
It was an amazing gift, Mark, and always have a special place in my collection.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad I've got another one. One of these days, I forgot I accidentally stripped down a two-door instead of a wagon, but I've got somebody else that's going to get one of those one of these days. I'm not going to say who because they're probably listening. Yeah. So next question. You've already answered a couple of these, but we'll still go to I'll still answer this or ask this question because I want to know the year, when it was. But what got you started in collecting Hot Wheels? Like, do you remember roughly what year it was, where you were at, what it was that you started to collect? Tell me about that.
Okay. So I think there were 3 points in my life, and I'm not going to ramble on here.
Yeah.
I remember walking around a birthday party as a kid, handful of Hot Wheels when I was 3.
Yep.
In college, I started noticing how cool Hot Wheels were, and this was like mid-90s. So I grabbed a few and put it on my desk as a college student in my dorm. And I think that kind of got the flame flickering again. And then right when I got married, I started just stockpiling these cases that you get at Hobby Lobby. And I started going all out. And that would have been, man, I am old, because that was 25 years ago.
Ooh.
So right at the end of the 90s, man, I've been doing it and steady collecting since then.
So how many cars would you say you have, David? Roughly, a guesstimate.
All right, so we probably peaked out around 200 to 2,500. Not anything crazy.
Okay.
Because I bought what I liked. I didn't collect. I wasn't a completionist. I didn't collect every variation. I just bought clean street cars. Lately, I am only collecting true 164 and some 1/43rd scale stuff. So the collection is probably down under 1,000, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I've given a lot away, and that's been fun.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell that you're the kind of person that enjoys giving things away. I'm always seeing people get stuff from you. It's nice to see that, to watch people's videos that you see their name pop up. They're just sending people stuff. There's no expectations in return. It's good to give. It just feels good to give to people for sure. So I think everybody appreciates that about you, David.
Thanks, man.
No problem. What keeps you going on diecast? Like what keeps you fired up about collecting diecast?
The best part about our hobby is finding stuff you didn't even know existed. They make really good diecast in Australia.
I see that.
Awesome diecast in Japan. Chinese diecast makers are going crazy. And when you find something you had no idea even existed, like maybe the first car you had or your parents' car, there's a lot more cars than Hot Wheels or Matchbox makes.
Sure.
And when you find stuff you didn't know about, that pumps me up.
Well, I can tell that you are a man that likes detail, like on cars. You like all the detail. So the exhaust, the side markers, the lensed taillights.
Gotta be lensed.
So David was the person to bring me, I didn't know what that meant. So, he was telling me, that has lensed headlights or lensed taillights. And I was like, what? It's it's got the lens. It has the actual Explain lensed to us, David, since you're the king, the connoisseur of lensed taillights and headlights.
So first, let me explain it that if you ever are talking to Mark and say Derek at Honest Diecast, and they start throwing out terms like naturally aspirated, and you don't want to feel like an emasculated man because you have no idea what they're talking about, then you have to learn new terms on your diecast cars that they don't know.
Yeah,
so
make us feel dumb.
Lens only means, like, when you see a car like a diecast car and it's got a plastic insert and it looks like a real lamp and it's not painted.
Yeah,
that is lens.
That's a lens.
And you got to say that. You got to really play it up.
Yeah, and that you do. So yeah, you made me feel pretty dumb, but you I can't talk today. You learn something new every day. You learn how to speak every day. Let's see here. I've got some hard-hitting questions, David. I'm not going to lie. I got some deep questions, and I'm going to, ask everybody that comes on some deeper kind of questions, and figure people out how they tick. But who's the most influential person in your life? Like, who is the person that means the most to you besides, your family, of course. And that may be your answer because I think family is important, but I'll let you answer it. So who's the most influential person in your life?
Mark, sometimes we don't realize the influence people have on us until we mature a little. And I think that's the way it was with my dad.
Yeah.
Like, I got to admit, when I was a teenager and growing up, man, I was a jerk. Like, I didn't want to have anything to do with my dad, really. I didn't talk to him a lot. And we still lived in the same house. I don't want to paint some picture. But I just thought I was too cool and I knew everything and I had my life figured out. And then I start to, as a parent now, I start to do things that I learned from my dad. And when I look at the sum total of everything in my life, he's had the most influence on me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's it.
Yeah, so what was what's one thing you think he instilled in you that you still, think about a lot?
Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example. So when I was some hot-headed teenager, I would slam my door. And when my dad caught me slamming my door one time in an argument with my parents, my dad made me open the door and apologize to that door 10 times. I had to address the door as if it were a person and apologize to it
10 times.
And when my son flew off the handle, as 8 or 9 years old kids will often do, I made him do the same. And I promise you, me as a 12-year-old and he as an 8 or 9-year-old, neither one of us ever slammed the door again. Yeah. So there's an example, man.
That's hilarious. That's really good. I think as just, men and women are different, of course. I think a lot of, younger guys, they go through this phase in life to where they think they know everything and they're a man and don't tell me what to do because I'm a man now. And it's like, dude, you're 13, you're 14, you're 15, But I went through the same phase. I was a jerk to my mom up until probably... I don't know, probably junior, senior year of high school is when I realized I was being a jerk to my mom and that I don't know everything at all and that I have a lot to learn in life, But, I think a lot of guys and, girls go through the same thing where they think that they're adults and they know everything. But that's far from the truth. We, being adults, we're still learning stuff every day and still learning how to curb our anger or emotions and some of the bad things that are still in us, But I think that's really a good thing. Hopefully, someone takes something from that and makes their kids apologize to the door this week. I don't know. That'd be pretty funny. So I think that's great, though, David. All right, let's see here. Here's a good question here. Does your wife fully support your hobby, and how often do you get in trouble for purchasing things and so forth?
All right, so full disclosure, I'm sitting here looking at her, and she is anxiously anticipating my answer here. So, do I get in trouble? Yeah, I do. But nothing to worry about. She absolutely supports it.
There's no physical violence or anything like that.
Nothing like that.
Okay.
Listen, when you have a partner, a spouse, a girlfriend, whatever, that recognizes what gives you joy. Listen, our spouses can't provide every bit of joy. I can't walk around holding her hand 24 hours a day. Sometimes as dudes, we got to have something that we have for ourselves. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she absolutely supports it. I get the social interaction that I need in a nice, safe environment. We don't have a whole lot of crap we got to filter through with, people, being inappropriate or anything like that. So yeah, she is 100% on board. When do I get in trouble? Sometimes I sneak in the house with Target bags and they're hidden in my jacket because I know I've already bought diecast 4 times that week already. So yeah, that happens. And, we got to make corrections along the way, little tweaks here and there.
Do you ever go to Kohl's or just use Kohl bags or maybe Home Depot bags and then put Hot Wheels in them and bring them home and be like, oh, hey, honey, I got some tools to, remodel the house, and there's really just Hot Wheels in there or Chinese Passats. Have you ever done that?
I have not taken it to that level, but I'll tell you this. I have put smaller Walmart bags inside of bigger ones so that it looks like there was only one trip when there's probably 4.
Yeah, I hope you're not giving away all your trade secrets to your wife right now.
She's left the room, so we're good.
Okay, we're good for the time being. All right, so what? Next question here. What's your best advice for new or seasoned collectors? What's your best advice for them? Just what's the most valuable thing that you think they can take away from you?
Easy, and you already said it. You said the secret to collecting diecast the right way. Mm-hmm. Buy what you like.
Yep.
Do not buy anything because you think it's going to be trade bait, because you think it's going to be valuable.
Oh, amen.
Buy what you like. If you don't have any way to cut down, if you don't have any way to filter out some of the millions of options, you're going to be lost. You'll have to buy everything, and nobody can do that. Hot Wheels, can we give them some credit for keeping cars $1 for the past 40 years?
Yeah,
and
give them some major credit
making a billion different options for everybody. So yeah, if you buy anything more than what you like, you're gonna be lost. You'll just be spinning your wheels.
Amen. Yeah, that's you're gonna end up with thousands and thousands of Hot Wheels that you don't even necessarily care about, and they may not be worth anything someday. So, I would say majority of them aren't going to be worth a lot of money someday. So it's kind of like I don't know, like Beanie Babies, like people that went crazy on those and bought them just to resell them, and realistically, there's only less than a handful that are actually worth any money. So, yeah, just collect what you love, man.
You seem like you know a lot about that, Mark. Is there a Beanie Baby story we need to hear?
It's not something I feel comfortable talking about at this time, David. Beanie Babies it's kind of a sensitive subject. It's too soon.
My apologies.
Too soon, Junior. So what else here? What else we got here? I only got probably a couple more questions here, but we can just continue to talk about whatever. Who else would you like me to talk to here on my podcast? Is there anybody that comes to mind besides Derek at Honest Diecast, because he'll be on tomorrow?
I think we got to figure out some way to take this thing overseas. I think there's a certain chap in the UK that would give us some delightful banter.
Oh gosh.
You know who I'm talking about, Mr. Rapidness.
Oh yeah.
But
no, he's already he's already a thought for sure. Yeah, he's already begged to come on the show.
I think we got some collectors. A lot of your fans that I see are also, European collectors too. Maybe there's, a guy in Australia. But one person that I would tune in for, Mark, 8 days a week, Mr. Andre Cruz.
Andre Cruz. I'll see if I can get him on here. Yeah, for sure.
That can't be a laugh a minute, I bet.
Yeah, no, he would, and yeah, I'll see if I don't even know if he's listening to the podcast or what. He has been kind of absent from my page recently, so I'm not sure what's going on with Andre, but we'll see if he wants to come on, and all you can do is ask. So
that's all you can do.
Yeah, I'd like to get GOGT on here soon too. That dude is funny. Yep. He's got a lot of energy. Whenever I watch his videos, he is stoked, and yeah, he's really excited to come on. So one of these days, I told him to email me. I'd like to get him on because he's hilarious. It's the high energy people, man. Just like Nas too. Nas will be on probably. Nostalgic Nas. I think a lot of you guys know Nas. If you don't, you got to check him out because he's a ball of energy too, and he's crazy, and we all love him. But he'll probably be on next week. He's very interested in getting onto the podcast as well, and that dude cracks me up a lot. So
yeah, I was thinking of him when you started talking. You're right.
And of course, the president of the Hot Wheel Prez, Hewitts. That would be great to get him on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that, I just want to get people that have big personalities and everything on here. Anyone's welcome to come on if they feel confident enough, because I'm going to throw some hard questions at them, as you saw today, David.
It's
tough questions.
It is the hot seat.
It's not like, hey, David, how's it going? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite color, David?
Oh, are we doing this? Okay.
Yes, David.
Chinese Passat Champagne Yellow.
Oh, wow. I didn't know Chinese Passat was an actual color. We're going that deep now.
Yep. It's LB434 is the paint code, I think.
Oh, gosh. Oh, man. So, you know what? I'm just going to reverse this up now. You can ask me. We're probably going to go for, I don't know, maybe another 5 to 8 minutes or so. If you can ask me any questions you want to ask me.
Yeah, I would. Why don't you take a seat in the hot seat here?
Oh.
Yeah, how you like that? I did have a question, actually, Mr. McHotwheel. Some of us all know from Honest Diecast that you actually were the catalyst for him starting to collect again. So can you, in a couple minutes, kind of recap that story?
Yeah, so Derek and I know each other through cars, through Supras to be exact. He had a Mark IV Supra and I had a Mark III Supra. And he had I think his Supra was like 700 horse to the wheels, and mine was probably like 400 because I had a 1J in mine. But anyways, we knew each other through cars and through our car team, like straight up Fast and Furious car team. And so that's how we know each other. So we both love cars. So I was down there visiting him in Arizona, and we were at Kroger's, which is like Fred Meyer's, in my area. And we were just at the store buying some groceries, and I saw a end case, couple smaller end cases, and I went over and I was, the new 240Z, the yellow 240Z. There was a red one and a blue one, and there were some other really cool cars in that series, in that case. And so I started grabbing them, and I'm putting them in my cart. And he's like, "What are you doing, man?" I'm like, "These are Hot Wheels. These things are awesome." And I had only been collecting them for maybe a couple of years or something at that point. But he was like, "That's kind of dumb," or whatever. He just kind of brushed it off like that's. And then he's like, "Oh man, I think it was." He saw the Z, grabbed the Z, 240Z, and then there was maybe some Skyline, and there was a bunch of others. So he starts grabbing. That's actually really cool. And so he starts putting them in his cart, and he leaves the store with 50 cars. So, and the rest is history. And we all know how crazy he is about Hot Wheels now. And then he got into customizing them, and he started a YouTube channel, and he blew up, of course, but he was the one that got me to start a YouTube channel, because once I went down there to visit him, I was on his channel, and people were like, Mark, you need to start your own channel, because we're clowns together, and people, liked, me for some reason. But, yeah, so the rest is history when it comes to him collecting and me to start a YouTube channel, which led me to this podcast and whatever else, so that's it.
You know why that's a good story, man? You know why that's a great story, actually? Because as collectors, when you're starting out, getting into it, if you're older than 9 or 10, maybe you feel a little apprehensive going into a store buying toys.
Sure.
Don't. Just own it. If you like cars, just buy it. People are buying Pokemon cards. People are buying My Little Ponies. Collect what you like.
Well, how many times have you been asked this, David, like me, like when you're checking out, and this is going to make some kid really happy, and I said, yep, that kid's me.
Yep, a lot. And it comes with the territory, and you just take your cars and go home and enjoy them.
Yeah.
My last question, man, I got a good one for you.
Okay.
What are some fun, exciting things that we will see from Dotson Man Diecast in 2022?
I haven't thought super far ahead, but I do know that Kimber's getting more involved in my fiance is getting more involved in Hot Wheels, and she's got a lot of customs from people, and we're going to start getting her a case, and it's just being able to hunt with her and go find cars, and for her to hunt when I'm not around, because I've been sick, and she picked up some cars for me. It's really awesome to be able to go hunt with her, and she's a trooper too. She'll tell me when we're done, but okay, we're done hunting today. But usually it's not for quite some time. After it's like we looked at six stores or something like that. She's like, okay, we're done. But I think with Kimber, and us getting married in January, I think that's definitely a new happy chapter in my life, and to be able to share that with her, and I'm trying to talk her into starting her own YouTube channel as well. She likes to organize things, clean, that kind of stuff, and skincare and all that stuff. So I'm like, hey, you're funny. Like, you make me laugh, and I'm a critic, So I was like, you need to start your own thing, and, we can collab together, and yeah, I just want her to be happy. But she's got to want to do it. I'm not going to force her to do anything she doesn't want to do. But she also, if she wants to take the next step and step out of her comfort zone, which I know that she struggles with a little bit, just with that, she doesn't, we all do. Like, that first video that you make is very nerve-wracking. You're putting yourself out there. So no one's any different. I think we all started with putting our first video out, our first podcast. My first podcast, it was like just sitting here talking to myself. Very, very weird. But yeah, So we'll see what the future holds, but I'd like to get her involved more so in any kind of funny skit and stuff that I like to do. But I'd like to do some more funny skit kind of things, comedy, type of videos for the page, and get some collabs going with people too. So that would be ideal.
It all sounds cool, and that's why we love your channel, man. You bring so much to the table that is welcome. So awesome. I'm so glad I got part of this podcast.
Yes, thank you for coming on. We got 30 seconds here before I run out of time here. These things go 45 minutes. So I'd like to thank David, Twyce Diecast, for coming on today. What a lovely, beautiful man he is. And I hope I'm making him blush right now. So thanks for coming on, buddy.
It's been my pleasure, and happy hunting, everybody. I'll see you on the next one.
All right. Sounds good, guys. You guys have a blessed day, and we'll see you in the next podcast tomorrow.